Welcome back to another live Q&A with BA and Praise. So I talked to Praise briefly before we got on, and I was like, Pete, so what are we talking about today? And he said, I just got a lot of strategy questions, right? So if you're a business owner, coach, consultant, we gonna cover sales, marketing, you name it, AI. We're gonna bounce all over. We're gonna talk a bunch of different strategy that'll be extremely useful to you. By the way, if you didn't notice, my background is a little different today. So I'm in Miami. Maybe y'all can see a little bit out here. Can y'all see the ocean out there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So,
Oh
while I
yeah.
am committed to y'all, I am committed to that too. So I'm about to do both. So we'll be on here briefly. Do not be shy today. If you got questions, put them in the chat ASAP, and we will get to them as we get through this. All right. What's up, Jack?
Man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, first things first, it's B's birthday coming up. So, I just want to wish him a happy early birthday. Y'all wish him a happy birthday in the chat, man, because this man is serving on his birthday. I would, I would have turned off everything if my
It
birthday
was a
coming
thought.
up.
It was a thought. It was a thought.
Yeah,
No,
man. So I just appreciate you for that. Still being on here, right before the birthday coming up. So yeah, man. Happy birthday. And I hope you enjoy that view, bro, because
yes, sir. I
you deserve it.
appreciate that.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna build our way up gradually. So I'm gonna start mindset. So we're gonna go internally to externally and build our way up like that.
Okay.
So one of my first questions is like, what's a key mindset shift that I need to make to think more strategically as an entrepreneur?
Is my mic working all right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Your mic's
It's
good.
not. It's not low. Okay.
Nah,
So how do you need to think strategically as an entrepreneur? The first thing is, and I'm not big on like goal setting per se, right?
right.
Because if as a believer we know that everything is perfect in His time. So when I look at goals, if I am going to set them, they need to be smart goals, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time based, right? But but the goals should be predicated on inputs, not outcomes. So if my goal is to go viral on social media, as an example, I can't control when I go viral, but I can control the frequency by which I give myself an opportunity to go viral.
Mm,
So if I really have a heart to say I want to try to go viral by the end of the year, but only post once a week, and those posts get 300 to 500 views, then it's probably not likely that that's going to happen for me.
right.
And so I need more at bats so that I can collect more data so that I can understand more of what's working, what's not working, and make more adjustments. So I need to increase my frequency, right? So when we talk about strategy and how to think about things as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to give an example of like get clear about where you're trying to go. Then you also got to get clear about the inputs, how often you need to do what, how frequent you need to check in about what, right? You want to get to $1 million this year, awesome, right? That's 80 some $1,000 a month. Okay, well, what do we need to do from an input perspective? How many sales calls do we need to have? How many people do we need on a webinar? How many people do we need on our challenges? How much does our offer have to be priced at? So I got to always understand, yeah, what is the outcome I desire, but then understanding that I control the inputs and the frequency that I put the work in with the inputs, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. And you said something that was actually leading into my second question that I believe that you can give me more clarity on. So you were like, be clear about where you want to go. So how can I get clear about where I want to go? Like, how can I build out either like a 6 to 12 month roadmap to actually get to where I want to go? Like, how does one do that?
So here's the first thing, bro, right? Like, we got to ask ourselves, why are we even doing this to begin with? Like why are we like why am I in business? okay, to make money, but then to use the money to do what? Like, why am I doing what I'm doing? And so I think it starts with that, understanding like why did you choose to do this? And then understanding what is your true appetite for how far you want to take it. And sometimes that's tied to a very specific reason. Other times it could just be your ambition. But regardless of what it is, like you got to sit with that thought and figure that out. Because once you do, then you can start understanding what the other pieces are that coincide with that, right? Meaning, it's similar to what I was just talking about. If I know I want to get to a point where I'm making 10K a month consistently so I could leave my job in 6 months, it's like, okay, cool. So then I'm very clear about my what and my why. And then now I look at over the next 6 months, what do I need to do? If I'm only generating $2,300 a month right now and I'm trying to get to 10, what do I need to change about what I'm doing in order to get there? And then after you figure that out about what do you need to change, then you just need to change those inputs and do them more frequently to get you to that point.
That's good.
Does that
That's,
make sense?
yeah, 100%. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And,
Um,
so as an example, let's just say, you know, take Alex as an example, right? So Alex is one of our clients in our Purpose to Profits mastermind. He's actually in our inner circle now as well. Alex, in his first 60 days, made $257,000, right,
mm,
in the program. All organic. He was just selling tickets to his challenge on Twitter, and then he sold his mastermind at his challenge. Okay. When about his fourth challenge, because he did, I want to say 4 challenges. He made 600 grand in 5 months. Okay.
right,
But by the time he did that fourth challenge, he was already reaching out to me and David saying, hey, I'm gonna need some help with running ads because I feel like my organic reach is drawing up. Okay. That's important because that means that he was being able to sell tickets organically to his challenge, but then he got to a point where he had to start running ads in order to get more of an audience. Meaning, right? So I just want to make sure everybody abundantly clear about what I'm talking about. Let's just say you got 2,000 followers and about 20 to 30 people engage with you regularly. And then of those 20 to 30 people, let's just say 20 of them has at some point attended an event of yours. Okay. Some bought, some didn't buy, but they're all now privy to what you offer. Well, unless you go get another 20 to 30, 40 fully engaged people on your page, then you're going to run into a problem where you don't have nobody else to sell your product to. So then that's when you need to turn on ads so that you can get new people into your ecosystem. So you got more interested people looking at, it's called leads. You got to get more leads into your business. So Alex did either 4 or 5 challenges, got to a point where, yeah, he made 600 grand in 5 months, but he can sense that his ticket sales were slowing down because for all the people that was in his warm audience, he had sold through to them. He had either sold the ones that wanted to buy some or the other ones had already came and saw the opportunity. Right?
right.
So then he reached out to us. He came into our inner circle and now he's running his first ad campaign. Why? Because he identified that was another lever that he had to pull if he wanted to get to his $1,000,000 this year. Right? He started late because he didn't come into the program until February, like end of February. And through his first 6 months, through his first 5 months, he did 600 grand. He can get to $1,000,000 now because he's running ads. But if he would have just kept relying on his organic audience, he don't think that he would have been able to sustain enough lead flow to have people to sell his stuff to.
That's good.
So you see practically what I'm saying of
Yeah,
how your 6 month or your 1 year plan will be predicated on what that goal is and if those inputs are allowing you to achieve that goal.
right,
And if they're not, then you just need to change the inputs.
right. Yeah, that's good, B. That's super good. We got a question in the chat. Jack wants to know. He said, "I want to do purpose to profits. Can you talk more about that?" Um, and I'll give just input from just being at two challenges. I think I've been to 2 to 3 challenges so far.
Yeah.
Jack. So first things first, it's something you don't want to miss. It's a 5-day challenge, and one of the best things that about the purpose of profits is that you have to show up, right? It's as if there that purpose of profits challenge. It's like, man, there's a billion things I could say, but the same way they make you show up for 5 days for the purpose of profits challenge is the same way that you're gonna have to show up for your business. You're gonna have to be dialed in. You're gonna have to learn new strategies. You're gonna have to focus on your input, right? Because the outcome will take care of itself. And in those 5 days, is literally revolutionary, right? Like they revolutionize the way you think, the way you strategize, what the way you speak, right? Because it says life and death is in the power of the tongue. So they're literally changing who you are in the next 5 days, and literally at the end of the 5 days, you and I heard this one quote: once you've been exposed to something, you can't be unexposed, right? So after
Mm-hmm.
they expose you to all the wisdom, all the knowledge, all the strategies, all the game plans that they have for you, you quite literally can't go back to the way you used to think or the way you used to act and strategize and execute. So I would like 100% recommend the Purpose to Profits Challenge, that you just dial in and focus, because you can't be in there and not give 100%, because they ask you, are you here to give 100%? Because if not, you're really only wasting your time, because they're doing it at a price that really is, I, they should be charging way more for what they're doing it for.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it is probably it is the best 5 days that I've ever had. And in those 5 days, that's why I'm literally sitting in front of Brian, because I sat there for 5 days, locked in, dialed in, and now I'm sitting in front of the same person I was trying to be like. I'm sitting in front of him. So that's just what I and there's so much more, but obviously I'll hand it over to the head honcho about purpose to profits. But that's just what I've experienced, and it's been the best 5 days I could have ever asked for. So
Yeah, I appreciate that, P. We got to work with you on sales though, because you scaring people over here, man. You told them they
bro,
got to do work. People don't want to come do work. You got to sell them on the fact that they're gonna be able to 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 enjoy this view. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And sip my ties, and you got to sell them on that. Don't nobody want to come do work. You selling them on the work that got to be done. But no, I'm glad you told them, because don't come if you don't plan on doing the work, because for us it's a waste of time otherwise. You know what I mean? And
100%.
we put the price point so that there's no question, in terms of entry to barrier or barrier to entry, all the things. And but at the very same time, the fulfillment we get from it, considering that we ain't charging basically nothing for it, is for the people to show up and actually lean in, because we know that they will be a different individual. Their business will look completely different at the end of 5 days. Many people start having breakthrough and revelation in the first 24 to 48 hours. Is unbelievable. Laquana just said, I think I would do another one. It's next level. I appreciate you. And Laquana from New York, and she's very opinionated. So, you know what I'm saying? She wouldn't have just said that if she ain't mean it. I can promise you all that. So Jack said, I'm doing handyman landscaping business. There are a couple of things I want to expand into. Can purpose to profits benefit? Not selling online courses. I ain't scared of no work. What's up, Mark from Hawaii? I ain't scared of no work. 16 hours. Yeah. So it's one of those things where, here's what I would say, right? Purpose to profits will help any business owner, whether you plan on selling online or not. Would you agree with that? Like the
Yeah,
principles that we teach, if you just implement it in your business, gonna make your business better. What I would
yeah,
say is this: if you want to come, right, and this for everybody watching this right now. David, don't get me if you see this later. If you want to come to the challenge and you still feel like $17 or $47 is a risk, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all, we sell six-figure coaching programs. I have a very difficult time trying to explain to people why they need to spend $17 or $47. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come. And if at the end of the week you don't feel like you got $17 or $47, where we would just give you your money back. Okay? Maybe that just simplified it for everybody. Okay, we're gonna teach you how to have 6-figure days in your business, how to have 7-figure years in your business, how to have 6-figure months in your business, how to sell more one to many. Even if you're doing handyman and landscaping business, like, do you want it to only be that? Because I see handymen and landscapers who post content online that's making a tremendous amount of money as a result of doing it. So sometimes we can look at what we do and minimize it, but if we minimize it, then why are we doing it in the first place?
Mm.
Like if I'm gonna devalue what I'm doing, then why even put value to what I'm doing? That don't make any sense. So the question becomes, do I want to maximize what I'm doing and how I'm doing it in this season? If the answer is you want to, then come to the challenge. And again, if by Friday it don't make sense to you, we give you your money back. Okay. So yeah, that's that about the challenge. We're gonna show you how to have exponential growth in your business, and not just in your business, in your life. Because the whole essence of the challenge is making more money with margin, making money with margin. Okay. Because I've been rich and miserable, and I know many of you have built what you call businesses, but they really turned into prisons that you can't get out of. And when I was talking with a lady, I was DMing with her the other night. She full-time nurse, full-time ministry, working at the law firm and trying to grow her. I'm like, I was rubbing my forehead for her. I'm like, this is crazy.
Mm.
Right? Like, there's only so much time in the day, and I get it, everybody busy, but we can actually structure what busy looks like though.
Right.
Right? Alex got to a point about a month ago when he reached out, he was like, bro, I'm almost like depressed. I'm making more money than I ever have in my life, and I'm working 10 to 15 hours a week. He like, on a bad month, we making 40,000. On a good month, we making 6 figures plus. And I'm working 10 to 15 hours a week, which is what we tell everybody though, right? We teach you how to make 7 figures a year working 100 days a year. I know that sounds crazy, but you come to the challenge, I'm gonna show you practically. I'm gonna walk it out on the whiteboard. It's not. Alex is just proof positive of that. He like, I feel like I'm being a bad steward because I got all this time. I'm not doing nothing else with it. So then we like, cool, come to Philly. He upgraded. He bought our 55K inner circle. He flew out to Philly. Me and David got together, sat with him. We had an 8-hour meeting with him, the whole team globally, went through his whole business, did an autopsy on it, helped him build his vision. See, part of the problem is sometimes we go and make money. And I had this issue when I made my first $1 million in 2018. Like, you go make the money, but then if you ain't got no vision, it don't matter how much money you make. I know that sounds crazy until you've made a lot of money, but I promise you, you're gonna make a lot of money one day, especially if you come to the Purpose to Profits Challenge. You're gonna make a lot of money one day. And then you're gonna realize, like, I still need to get clear about, like, why am I doing this? So that's what we helped him to kind of put some framework around, was the why behind it, and help him to build a 3 to 5 year vision on other things that he could do. Because, I mean, he got a heart to build a kingdom, right? So impact is important to him. So we helped him like develop a model that's gonna give him more reach and more impact, while at the very same time, he gonna make oodles of money and help his clients make oodles of money. He got clients, yeah, he made 600 grand in 5 months, but he got clients that he helped make $250,000 in 30 days in their businesses, right? So it's that's what our goal is, to do kingdom work, to make more disciples in the marketplace,
Right.
to where everybody make money. That should be what that it should be. David and I are well taken care of. The clients are well taken care of. They clients are well taken care of. Like, that should be the healthy ecosystem of everybody getting money.
And then on top of that, to add, you get literally for the $47 ticket, right? Because you hear 17, you hear 47, you guys like, what's the difference? Okay, so for 17, you general admission. So you join for the 1 hour that they teaching you for the Purpose to Profits. That's for everybody to be in there. For $47, you get 5 hours with them the whole week, meaning you get an hour every single day to pick their brain about whatever it is, whatever question, whatever thing whatever problem, whatever strategy help you need. You literally have an hour every single day, Monday through Friday, and you literally get an hour to ask them whatever you want. I was able to go into the Purpose to Profits and ask them. And this is the funniest part. When I followed Brian, and he shot me a DM and he was like, "Hey, like, how'd you find our page?" And I just was being honest. I was like, "Yo, I have no idea what I'm doing out here. I'm like a deer in headlights with business. I know I want to start one, but I don't know what to do or where to go." Bro, he sends me the Purpose to Profits challenge, and I've learned more in those 5 days about business than what people have told me for the last 23 years of my life. And then on top of that, I was able to ask him whatever question that I needed in the VIP. And this is the best thing that I would say. I'm grateful that I spent $47 because I promise you, if I didn't, I wouldn't be sitting in front of Brian. Simple, plain put. God be my witness. If I did not spend $47, I don't even know if me and Brian would be here where we're at
Because
today.
I wouldn't have known who you were in general admission.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Right. So if I
because in VIP, for one, you get the extra hour to ask the questions, but we also on Zoom together.
right,
In general admission, a lot of people in the Facebook group, I can't see them when I'm presenting.
right,
So I mean, they get fed, but I just don't get to see them. So to your
right,
point, if you'd have been in general admission, it's a good likelihood we would have never met.
right.
It was 100 and some people there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even
Yeah,
200 people at that particular challenge. So,
right. So
um,
that just speaks to the benefit of just joining VIP. You never know what could happen.
but
Um,
one question answered changes your life.
right,
And
right.
I know a lot of people never been in that predicament to where that sound kind of like maybe even um, like self-interest or something, right? But it's just true. Like one question being answered can change your life. And just to give perspective, Alex paid $55,000 to come and sit with me and David in Philly for 8 hours in a meeting. And grant we did a dinner the night before as well, right? So just think about that. Y'all pay $47 and get to come be with us virtually for 10 hours through a 5-day challenge. So that's why I have a hard time even trying to convince. If they want to fix their problem, then that's what it costs. You know what I
Right.
mean? And I de-risked it by saying if it ain't what you thought it was, by the end of the week we give you your money back.
Yeah, and that's even doing that just shows the integrity of it, right?
Oh,
Some
because
people are you'll buy the ticket and that's that. The ticket's bought,
for
and you
some
ain't getting
people,
and you ain't getting the money
bro,
back.
and here's the thing, right? The reason why my posture is that is because I know that this is a ministry for me and David. It's a marketplace ministry, right? Coaching is a calling. And I know that people, for a lot of different reasons, are stuck. And particularly because of limiting beliefs, limited access, they surround us, the environment. And so if I have to help people de-risk whatever in their mind, even though 17 and $47 shouldn't be a risk for anybody that follows this channel, but even if that is a barrier, then it's like, well, then I de-risked it.
Right.
Just come, because I know what's going to happen to them if they come. Right? It's one of those situations, and so yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's enough about the challenge. Let's talk some more strategy, man, because
Yeah.
I feel as if it's some people here that need some more strategy in their businesses, and I told you I'm in Miami right now, right? So I'm about to get back to that view here in a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. So
So let's do it, man.
yeah, I got this one of these will be one of the more business oriented questions, and then I'll ask more strategy as we move along. But I wanted to ask, how do you recognize when it's time to pivot versus stay the course in your business?
The first thing is, and right, the prerequisite is obviously that you're a believer, got a relationship with God. I think that's the ultimate indicator, right? Is just being yielded to Him, being in relationship with Him, being in proximity with Him, to where you understand, right? The steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. So if I believe that, and I'm in constant dialogue with Him, and I'm asking Him to order my steps, and I'm asking Him to illuminate the pathway by which I step, then I should be able to discern certain things from that movement,
Mm,
right? As an example, I had been in real estate for no, you good, Jack. No, you good. That response wasn't just for you, it was for everybody. You good. But I just wanted to get it out the way so we ain't have to talk about it no more, and then we could just focus on feeding the people because that's what I got on here for. And but for 6 years online, I was always known as the real estate guy, right? Remote real estate investor, fix and flip, wholesale, cash flow, bought apartment buildings, all the things, taught people all around the world how to do the same. But then late organically for the last 2 years, people had already been reaching out asking me for help in their coaching program, right? So we came out with our print money program. It was something I was doing with a small group of people, select people that wasn't taking me away from real estate, but was at least helping them build out their coaching programs. And then mid about mid last year, I started feeling this unction, right? I call it like a divine agitation. That's what I'm talking about, being in proximity with God, being in a relationship. So certain things started happening, right? I used to do this coaching call with my real estate students every Monday night at 8:30 for like 5 years straight. That was the rhythm of our mastermind, right? And that was the thing that I don't care how bad my week was going, I will always look forward to getting on that call. Well, this is what I mean by that holy agitation, to where that started to be the thing I look least forward to doing. Okay. Not because I love the people, but I didn't love the progress. And the avatar was starting to change and all the things. And it just wasn't fulfilling for me no more. Right. And so I thought it was just a season. I was looking introspectively, thought maybe it was me, whatever. And then like I started having these dreams, and David would be in them. And I'm not a vivid dreamer, so I don't even remember my dreams. But I started having these dreams, and David, we be in like these what do they call them things in college? The big classrooms.
I don't even
But you
remember.
know what I'm talking about, like being
Yeah,
in those auditoriums, right?
right.
So I'll be in these auditoriums, and like Dave would be up there teaching at the whiteboard or something. And then he started having dreams. And then I would be teaching and giving instruction in his dream. And so this go on for like 2 months. Like randomly, we would have these random dreams. And we still couldn't put together why though, right? Because at that time it was just a client vendor relationship. Like
Right.
David was my marketing agency. I hired them, and that was the nature of our relationship. Other than the fact that we had still grown a brotherhood along the way. And so again, faith without works is dead. So we had to actually try something based off of what we thought. So what happened was Dave had me come do a couple repitches at his challenge. Okay. I'll explain. I don't want to convolute the conversation, but basically I was a guest speaker at one of his challenges. Okay. Or two of them. After doing that, and then just being like a part of his challenges, me just as a viewer, I started to pick up on certain things where I would say are my strengths. Okay. By virtue of that, there's also things that are his strengths that I'm not great at. And so one day we on a call, and I just started explaining all this, and he prayed about it. And so late last year in November, we was like, let's just try this buy back your time challenge. And so that's what we did. Well, it was fruitful. Okay. And so, but what came out of that was that we started to learn that people, and by the way, I'm answering your question as to how you learn how to pivot. Okay. We started to learn that people really wanted to understand more about their purpose. They were lacking fulfillment in life and all the things. So, okay. So we changed it to purpose to profits. Okay. We initially did it as buy back your time. So there was two pivots that I just explained. One, pivoting from doing the thing that I was most known for and that was most comfortable to me, which was being a real estate guy. Right? Pivoting from that to where in November of last year, I never talked about being a real estate guy ever again.
Mm.
Ever. Okay. So that was one pivot. The second pivot was that me and David ran a play with the Buy Back Your Time challenge. It was fruitful. As a matter of fact, Alex came through that one. He just didn't come into the program until February. So imagine we didn't do that and Alex don't make 600,000 in 5 months if we don't run that challenge as a test. I want you to think about what I just said, bro. We ran a challenge as a test in response to what we felt prompted from God. Had we not run that challenge, Alex wouldn't have never had the opportunity. At that time, Alex was working 70, 80 hours in his business, and he was barely making like $10,000 a month consistently.
Mm.
So if we don't have that challenge, he don't get exposed, and then he don't have an opportunity to make 600 grand in 5 months.
That's crazy.
But this is the part nobody pay attention to, though, right? They look at the transaction, but they're not looking at what happens as a result of being obedient and being in place. It
Right.
wasn't to our benefit, it was to his benefit that we took a pivot and got ourselves in position.
Right.
That's an aside. So the first pivot was from real estate to being obedient to serving coaches and consultants. The second pivot was being sensitive enough to our audience and saying, okay, we thought buy back your time is what they wanted, but they really want more essence and purpose. And so in January, we had a meeting, we changed it to Purpose to Profits Challenge, and we've been running it ever since.
No, that's strong, bro, because I think we afraid to pivot. And one thing that, obviously, with me, being under you, being under your coaching, I have not been afraid to pivot, because it's like, if pivoting is going to be the best thing for me and what I'm currently doing isn't working, then what am I doing? We don't have all the time in the world. So if pivoting is where I need to go, then pivoting is what I'm going to do. So I'm just grateful that you explained that.
So
because
this is I want to just argue the other side real quick, though.
Yeah.
The other part of it is a lot of people, they call them pivots, but they just quit too soon. Not saying that that's the case with you, but when you said that, it prompted that thought, right? A lot of people don't, if you understand the principles of the kingdom, okay, this one is actually a kingdom principle and a worldly principle. Seed, time, and harvest. Seed, time, and harvest. You got to sow a seed. You got to give it time in order to have a harvest. Just ask any farmer how that works. Anybody in agriculture, you cannot abort that process. So what happens is people sow seed, don't give it time because they don't see a harvest, but they haven't gone through enough process yet. Okay. So I just want to highlight that, because sometimes people don't give it a long enough gestation time to really see what the outcome should be. Okay. Another issue is practice don't make perfect. Perfect practice make perfect. So you could get good at doing it the wrong way and not know, because if you don't have the proper coaching in your life, you don't have the proper framework and guidance in your life. Many plans fail because of lack of counsel. With multiple advisors, they succeed, right? You don't have multiple advisors. And Albert Einstein says that the same level of consciousness that created a problem can't be the same level of consciousness to fix it. So if I don't have other people around me to give me new perspective, and I've gotten accustomed to doing this thing, whatever broken way that I've gotten good at doing it the broken way, then I'm staying in this thing long enough, because I'm not proficient at it, to know that I got a problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
So now this person should have possibly pivoted, but because of their lack of proficiency, they don't even know that they should. Which is why our formula is passion minus wisdom equals poor outcome. Passion plus purpose plus proficiency equals profits. A lot of people just aren't proficient at whatever they're doing, but because the people that they're leading know less than them, then they make them feel affirmed that they know more than what they know, until they get around somebody that know more than them. That's why the challenge is so great, because people finally get in the room with other people that know more than them and find out how much more they need to know.
And
I don't want to say how little that they know, how much more they need to know.
Right. And and I'm grateful that you said how much more they need to know, because I know you know this quote, but I refer, this is the quote that's helped me, be able to submit to more wisdom, and to better advice and coaching, is because the quote is, don't let what you do know get in the way of what you don't know.
Facts.
Right. So it's like I could have heard so many other people on YouTube. I could have heard people who have done it that are close to me make it big, but it's like all because that's what I do know. That doesn't mean there isn't a lot of information that, you know, that still won't change my life and won't benefit me, because I could have went on YouTube and heard somebody give me this business plan. But the best part, and I'm also tying this a little bit to the purpose of profits, is that they're tailor making it. They're tailor making their questions and their decisions and their advice to where you're at. Because mind you, I was just being fresh. I was just starting in business, and one of the advice that they gave me was to become a habitual seed sower. So they were saying what you sow in January, you won't see till April. What you sow in April, you won't see till October, November. What you sow in November, you won't see until February, March. So they planted that mindset before the business even started, because everybody wants to start, but we don't have the right mindset or even just the right approach to even being consistent and fervent in business. And they're basically saying, like, you'll have a business as long as you continue to sow seed.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you continue to put seeds in the ground, you'll have a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not habitually sowing seed, they were saying that there's going to be a season where I'm going to be looking for harvest, or where the harvest is going to be dry, but it's because I didn't sow seed 3-4 months prior, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I didn't know that. I if I didn't go there to understand and get more wisdom, then I wouldn't be sitting here where I am today. So I just wanted to add on to that. And I wanted to ask you, what is the importance of getting in a room with? Oh,
And
yeah, go ahead.
this what I just want to dovetail off of that real quick, because it's not incorrect, but it is a little incomplete in that it's not just the fact that you sowing seeds. Every deed is a seed.
Right.
Every deed is a seed. So the quality of the seed that you sow will be indicative of the quality of the harvest that you reap. There's people out here running their businesses in the ground every day. They sowing seeds every day. The fruit just ain't as good. They eat the fruit, they get sick.
Mm.
For every time they collect another dollar, they end up in more bondage. They forfeited more of their life every time they collect a dollar from somebody else. Why? Because they're doing one-on-one coaching, one-on-one consulting. Their margins are horrible. So they gotta keep their volume up because their profit margins are so small. But more volume mean more time. You giving an hour of your time for $200. You gotta do a lot of hours to make some money. By the way, which is just stupid to me. If take Kamora Link as an example. I have a 1 hour call with him. 2 weeks later, he go out and make $160,000. Why would I charge him $200? Because that's what my neighbors to my right and my left do. I'm not charging you based off of my time. I'm charging you based off of your payoff. So if I charge him $10,000 for an hour, one may say that's crazy, but if he made $160,000 from that 1 hour conversation, then who crazy? If anybody crazy, it'd be me. But people don't think like that. Why? Because they're not in the rooms to think like that. To answer with the question you were just about to ask me. Because they're not in the rooms to think like that. Nobody else around them tell them that. So many of our mastermind students come from these other programs where they got them setting up 3 different tiers of pricing, 7 different offers. That's not how you scale a business. You lock in on one offer that's got the highest margin, you scale that, and then you double back and put all that other stuff in place. And so one of the hardest habits we got to break for many, because most coaches and consultants have been to somebody's program by now. They come in and they like, so I got 3 different tiers. It's like, you ain't selling one of them effectively. What you got 3 of them for? Because it make you feel better. Because just in case they can't afford this one, they could buy it. That ain't how it go. That means you got the wrong audience, you got the wrong avatar, and you're not explaining the payoff well enough. Me and David don't change our prices based on who's in front of us. It costs what it costs. And for most people, because they don't have enough lead flow, then they married to the client that's sitting across from them instead of understanding that then that just ain't the person. Every time you sit down with a potential client, it shouldn't be a negotiation.
Mm.
An offer is a predetermined amount that has been established for the predetermined payoff that you're going to get your potential client. Predetermined. not variable based on who's sitting across from me. Now, we may make concessions as to how they pay the entire amount, right? Payment plans and finance, but we're not changing what it costs. It costs what it costs because we know what the payoff is, and we know that if they do what we show them, I mean, Candace made her money back in 60 days. Why? Because she actually went out and applied the stuff we showed her. She did one challenge in her first 60 days, made her money back from one challenge. Now she got an infinite return on investment because she's recouped her money that she initially spent to get the information and infrastructure. That's the other part. A lot of people so short-sighted in that they think, so if I invest this, then how quickly do I get it? It's like, while yes, there should be some ambition around that, but it shouldn't be about how quickly you get your money back. The ambition should be, how quickly can I get this thing so dialed in that I'm printing money for the foreseeable future?
Mm. That's good, B. That's good. And I appreciate you even, knocking out that other question because some people just in the wrong rooms,
Yeah,
like
they got the
I
wrong information. I don't hold it against them, right? But their business is holding it against them, though.
right. 100.
Success is no respecter of person. It just isn't, right? And it will come to those who do the right things, and it won't come to those who not. And I don't say this flippantly. I was a guy who didn't go out and get business coaching, who made $1.6 million his first year, 1.1 his second year, 750 the next year, 560 the next year, and then finally got down to 400, and it scared me. I was like, this crazy. That 400,000 was next to broke for me, right? I started at, but I didn't know what I didn't know until I went out and lost $250,000 with marketing companies. Because when you don't have the right coach in your life, then the marketing company becomes your coach. They telling you on what you should do in your business, but the problem is that they don't have a coaching business or a consulting business. They got a marketing agency, but they're basing it off empirical data that's worked for this avatar and that avatar. Man, look, you're gonna run your money in the toilet is what's gonna happen, and most people don't survive that. So when I say these things, I know it sounds very laissez-faire and maybe even flippant. I done lived it. You know what I mean? So it's no hyperbole for me. It's just very matter of fact. I know what it looked like to think you're having different success in your business than what you're actually having. And as a result, your naivete is going to end you up broke. And for many people, back at work.
Man, that's good. That's so good, B. I appreciate you going into that.
This the thing, bro. God graces us through our ignorance.
Mm.
Think of believers at different point in their walk. You be like, for the Pharisaic believer, they wagging their finger. Why they over there doing that and living like that? Because they don't know yet, right? That's not where they at in their walk.
Right.
Well, same is true. Same is true in business. Like, God graces us through our ignorance. However, He holds us accountable to when we have been exposed. So if you sitting in front of a resource that can help change your life and your situation, and for whatever reason you tell yourself not to do it, it's a penalty to that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah, B.
But I'm sorry, you were about to ask a question though.
Nah, that's good. I just yeah, you've been hitting it on the nose because it's just these are a lot of just you're really debunking a lot of the myths that people just hold on to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think it's so important to get in the right room because you know it's one thing to listen to your friends and they tell you it's a good idea. It's another thing for the people who actually executed to tell you what you're doing is a good idea, and that what you're doing will actually work. Because I was telling people my plans and they're like, yeah, that should be good. But it's like none of the people that I'm talking to have ever executed their own plan, you know?
For sure.
So it's like the blind leading the blind at that point. Cause like y'all
That's
didn't
that's exactly what
see
that
it.
is. At
Yeah,
best, we all got a great opinion. At best, we all got a great opinion. Like that's the best case scenario.
100%. 100%. So yeah, I just appreciate you for
The, the,
debunking
the,
that.
la- the last challenge I asked David, because David and I both have spent a lot of money. We've been in some of the same masterminds to where we know where the gaps exist because we know why so many people didn't succeed based off of the missing elements. And so as a result of that, well, we don't get to just stop there and be like, well, dang, they ain't have it. It's like, no, we got to go pay to get whatever else is missing.
Right.
And the last challenge I asked Dave, because we got this peerable presentation method that he is the proprietary of as far as webinars, but then also we revamped the challenge model. Okay. And when I say that, I mean like the funnels and the back end and all the stuff that make it work. Okay. A lot of people run webinars and challenges that they don't have all the right stuff in place with the flows and the emails and the text and the psychology and it's a lot that goes into it to make it all work. And I asked him the last challenge, Dave be coy about that kind of stuff. I'm like, bro, how much would you say you spent to figure that out? He's like, oh man, probably like another 82,000. As a result, though, he and his clients, myself included, have made millions of dollars as a result of that. Somebody got to raise their hand and take responsibility of fixing the problem. Problem is, people don't want to take responsibility of fixing the problem.
Mm.
But they want the result as if they did. That ain't how life go. The people who take chances become champions.
No, that's strong, B. Yeah, man. You knocked it out of the ballpark today, man. I appreciate you for just debunking all of this. Because it's so, like you said, it's so easy to just live in the dysfunction. And I'm using myself as an example. Okay, if y'all don't gotta admit it. I will. It's so easy to live in dysfunction and to just live in just so many inferior decisions. And I know you always talk about it, an inferior decision and a superior, or inferior fear and a superior fear. And I've lived in so many inferior ones that it's just held me back. So, and that's why I will always applaud, the purpose to profits, because that's when all those mindsets broke off, and I won't explain one of the exercises, but one of the exercises helped me break off those limiting beliefs and what I previously thought. Right.
Yeah,
So it's like,
that exercise on day one, bro,
yeah,
is powerful.
right. And
Powerful. That's where the scales fall off for a lot of people when we do that
100%.
exercise on day one, for sure.
Yeah, because it's like you don't realize like how much life or death you're speaking to yourself until you meet someone who only speaks life.
Mm.
Like, I'm thinking that I'm speaking life, but truthfully, I wasn't speaking enough. It's like I may quote scripture when I'm feeling discouraged, but on a 24-hour basis, and what do I really believe? Like, I just believe that momentarily so I can get out of that emotion, or am I speaking life through that moment? You know what I'm
That's
saying?
good. No, that's
So,
real good, bro.
so it's
Yeah,
like
real good.
I realized that because one of my, and you really just hit what one of my biggest things were. The problems that I'm facing in my life have just been a lack of accountability and responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Simple, right? And then on top of that,
It's
as
it's this it's this. I didn't mean to cut you off,
no,
bro, but
no, go ahead, go ahead.
I just wanted to say this to that point.
Yeah,
It's this arrogance. I call it naive arrogance. That one, you got more time, and that two, things are just gonna get better. And I'm not saying this to you, right? I'm saying this is for the general populace. Is the problem is that we know we need to do something about it, and we keep delaying it. It's an arrogant assumption that we got more time.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get into the Charlie Kirk thing, but you see what just like he 31 yesterday going to do what he thought was the thing that he lived for, that he ended up dying for. It's an arrogant assumption that we got more time. And then it's naivete to think if I just keep reading stuff and watching stuff and being around it and catching lives that eventually things are just going to improve. It's foolish thinking, bro. It's almost delusional,
Mm.
actually.
It's
Things don't get better. Things don't get better without being tended to. They only get worse. It's a law
right.
of entropy. Anything left to itself gets worse. In order to make anything better, there has to be some type of implementation to make it better. As an example, if you don't shower for a week, do you smell better or worse?
Worse.
If you a hooper and you don't hoop for 3 months, do you get better or worse?
Worse.
If you working out every day and you stop for 4 months, do you get better or worse?
Worse.
The law of entropy, anything left to itself, don't get better, it don't get worse. And here, and watch this, and it don't stay the same. That's the other lie that people tell themselves, that it don't stay the same. It's
Right.
it's getting, if you're not doing nothing about it, it's getting worse. If you've been in business and you've been making $100,000, it seems like every year, guess what? Even if that be true, with inflation, you're still getting worse. Even if the optic of I'm making the same money every year, with inflation, you're getting worse. Nothing is staying the same, bro.
It's good. It's good, B. Yeah, man. You answered all my questions today. That's great. That's great.
Good, because I'm about to go to the cigar lounge and enjoy this balcony. I don't, for those of y'all that joined late, just know the kid did sacrifice today. Okay, now I am looking at the view, but not in the way I would like to. I like to be out on the patio with a cigar right now, but had to come make sure y'all were fed and keep my commitment. By the way, what nobody had tapped me on, not Jack Med came for me. You know, it's a couple of y'all that would have, hey, we ain't do the live today, right? But just think about that though. I'm in Miami. I was down here yesterday shooting 3 podcasts. I'm at this beautiful resort that I love to stay at. But yet I'm here at 2 p.m. on Thursday. Now that's the only work I'm gonna do today, by the way. But I did it though. And I had every excuse not to. So I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm saying that because I'm trying to lead by example of what it looks like.
That's good.
I need nothing from this. This was all for my commitment to y'all to be here every Thursday when possible. And so
Right.
I just want to show you what it looked like, man. But this is putting seed in the ground because this is going to help somebody's life for those that watched it.
1000%.
So now, by the way, are there any questions? What's up, Bruce? Coach, I can't.
Coach Mike.
Coach Mike.
Yeah, that was good, B.
Yeah, y'all got any questions before we log off? The link to the Purpose to Profits Challenge is in the chat. www.purpose2profitschallenge.com. Matter of fact, if this blessed you today, just send it to somebody. Send it to a fellow business owner. We gave out a lot of game. And comment and let us know, is there anything that you're struggling in your business on that you want us to cover in the coming weeks? We'd be happy to do that as well. And yeah, if don't nobody got any questions, I'm about to go ahead and get out in traffic.
Man. Yeah. You go enjoy that view. Once again, y'all, like I said at the beginning, B birthday right around the corner. So happy birthday, man. Once again.
Appreciate it,
I
bro.
appreciate you for staying committed and because you don't have to do this, you know. What you've done for me and just ever since March, words can't describe, you know. So I just appreciate, you know, your commitment, your drive, and your brutal honesty that is needed in this generation, bro. Because I realized I was living in a castle that wasn't real. That's just the truth of it. I thought I was living in a castle. I thought I was the king of the show. Whole time it's like you need to go learn how to sweep the floors again. So I appreciate you for bringing me back to reality, but more importantly, helping me grow. And yeah, man, I just want to just continuously give you your flowers, bro, because I don't see this every day. You won't see this every day. This is rare. Like when they say people are 1 in a million, that's quite literally what you are, bro. So I just appreciate you for just your leadership, because you are still a servant, even though you have all the reasons and excuses and the proof to not do it. So I just appreciate you, man. And yeah, happy early birthday. You enjoy that view. And thank you for once again, you know, gut checking me as we get on these calls.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. God bless y'all. We see y'all next week.